guys. I'm Larry Grace. I'm the president and chairman for the International Society of Aviation Photography. I'm currently in Los Angeles. I'm here this weekend to do the Living Legends of Aviation event. You'll see around the table here a couple guys I'd like to introduce you to, and we're going to discuss a few things around aviation photography. Number one, off to my left here, Scott Dworkin. Scott is an invited speaker. He will be speaking at our ISAP symposium in March in Tucson. More information on how to attend our symposium will come a little bit later. Next to Scott, I have Mark Holtzman. You might know Mark a little bit, but you definitely will know his photograph. He was the photographer who did the B-2 bomber over the Rose Bowl this past year. There was some controversy about that particular photo, and I want to address that a little bit shortly. And then next to me is a fellow ISAP member, Gary Daniels, who I've invited to join me this year as one of our photographers on the photography team at the event. Guys, thanks for taking a few minutes. What we're going to try to do. Scott, I'll come back to you a little bit, but I'd like your input a little bit. Guys, if you haven't seen the photo, take the photo. Mark, what's your website address real quick where you have the photo posted right now?
MarkHoltzman.com.
Okay. And we'll have that listed a little bit later so you can find it. The photo popped out of the B-2 right after Mark had put it on Facebook. And I saw a couple of people had posted the photo. So I turned around and looked at the photo. When I first saw it, I went, man, this is a great shot. And it actually reminded me of a photo of one of our fellow ISAP members in the past, Joe Oliva. He did a shot similar up in Green Bay. So, like others, I immediately posted it. It's a great shot. But then later on, as I looked at the shot more, I said, here's an article. Let me take some time, let me read the article. And I read the article. All of a sudden I went, something's not right here. The way it's described, the way it was described that Mark taking the photo, I went, that goes against a lot that I've learned over the years from people like Paul Bowen, Jessica Ambatz. He's going to shoot me in a second, another featured speaker.
Jim
Kepnick.
Jim. Yeah.
That's so cool out there.
Phil McKenna.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to spend time with these guys, shoot with them, and whatever. So when I read the article, I went, okay. A fellow photographer, a lot of you may know, Vincent Lafleur. And Vincent, I apologize if I didn't get your last name right. But there's a post on Facebook, and he commented about the photo. And when I first read it, I happened to agree with a lot of the comments he was saying because it goes against a lot of the safety issues and stuff that we've all learned to try to do when we do.
Commented on the technique to get the photo.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't think there was never a question of the how great the photo was.
Right. But it was how it came about. And so after that, someone on the blog and brought up about myself and ISAP and if there's any comments. So I had to take a little look at it, and I did post how I felt about it. But at the same token, I kind of went, I want to take a little bit deeper dive into this. So I went to Mark's website. I started looking at his photos. He's done past shows and I go, okay, something's not, so it's there. So I decided to reach out personally.
Yes, you did.
And give Mark a call. And I said, Mark, great photo, a little bit more about it. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, the article did not do this person justice. It didn't tell the full story. There's backstories because the way we read it is, here's Mark, he's hot dogging it, he's sticking his head out the camera, he's got his 5-year-old in the back seat being his spotter. It just goes against the grain. And then when we talked, I found out, no, I had another pilot actually piloting the aircraft. I focused on the photography. My son, and oh, by the way, his son actually is a photographer as well, was taking back shots and also being a secondary NI. And we start to talk about the safety of how to take the shot, and he explained more to me how he does it. And it's in the realm of how we do aviation photography, whether it's air to ground, air to air. So I went back and said, guys, from my perspective, I've had a conversation with Mark. This article didn't do it justice. So I knew I was coming to LA for the Living Legends of Aviation event. Mark is based here, and he's based at Van Nuys.
Right here at Van Nuys.
So I said, Mark, I'm going to be down. Let's meet and talk. And then when I'm driving down, I talk, and one of the photographers who you cannot see who was behind the camera, Raymond, Cervantes, we were talking about. And I said, he was talking about videos. He said, yeah, I'd like to do a little clip on this. And so I've asked Mark. I had Gary here. I wanted to meet Scott a little bit more, and I thought, let's do a little impromptu. So you've heard my side of the story. I really like to have Mark a little bit tell us. Mark, how long have you been?
I've been an aerial photographer about 15 years. I did my first, if you want to just go into this aspect of it, I did my first flyover in 2009. And from that one, Sports Illustrated picked it up, and they sent it to World Press Photo, and I came in second to World Press Photo, and I went to Amsterdam for the award ceremony. It was also in Picture of the Year International. And since then, every year, it's kind of my New Year's treat. I go do this. Okay. It's not my normal realm. I'm a commercial aerial photographer that pays the bills, apartment buildings, construction, all sorts of different things. This is something I enjoy doing. I guess there's a long learning curve, which I've pulled over the years. You don't get a lot of practice on this. It's once a year, go try to get it. It's not like you can sit down and repeat it. So it's a challenging, I do it for the challenge. I love taking pictures and being in an airplane, doing it myself.
So based on that, when you first decided that you were going to do it, because if you go to this website, the 2018 Rose Bowl is not its first.
2009 was the first one.
First one. So when you visit his website, you're going to see a series of work, and I have to admit, I'm very impressed with what I saw there.
Thank you.
So when you got started, what's the preparation that you went through to plan these shots? But let's focus on 2018. What did you do to help get that shot set up? Who were the people you ended up talking to?
I started this. My preparation starts about 2 weeks before. I'm making phone calls. I'm checking weather daily. I'm talking to the B-2 pilots, or there's the communications people. I'm talking to the ground control, which is Pasadena. I'm talking to the FAA. They know I'm here. It's nothing of a surprise. They know I've been doing this. I know what the airspace is. I follow up on that. I get discrete frequencies, discrete squawk codes. I text before I get in the air to everybody just so they know I'm there, and I tell them when I'm in the air what I'm doing. There's no surprises here. As far as finding the aircraft and getting that, I know the position I want to be in. I should say, I know the positions that I want to be in that'll make the picture. It could be on this side of the field, this side, whatever side of the field, I know where I want to get so I can catch the B-2 if I first see the B-2 and if he's in position. And there's been times we've both been out of positions, or one of us has. So I'm just kind of playing with that in my mind. I'm going, there's a lot of visualization that for me that I do days before. And so when I'm there, I'm kind of in a little zone. I'm real relaxed, and I just know each little position where I'm going to be. If he shows up when I'm in this part of the field, then I know what I'm going to try to do. It's kind of a cat and mouse game. And this year, he took off early. We know the time. They give you the time down to the second, but it's never that. And a few seconds is all it takes, as you can see. Within 2 seconds, it's gone, and it happens very quickly.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. Were you flying the plane alone, or did?
Let's start with that. I always take a pilot with me, whatever I do, and I always take a commercial pilot. And this guy took what this time has been flying with me. We've had like almost 1,000 hours together. He's now a commercial airline pilot, and he flies with me on the side just for fun at this point. This was a non-revenue flight. It wasn't like I got hired to do this. I go up and shoot these things because I would never be hired something that I can't, say I'm going to get.
So the description, like if you read the Atlantic article.
Yeah, they sort of missed that.
It made it sound like your feet were on the pedal and you were leaning out of the airplane with your camera. How far from the truth are we? I mean, for me, I don't think you were leaning out of the airplane.
Well, they first said, did you shoot this out of the belly of the plane? I go, no, I shoot it out the window. I basically open the window, and I try not to stick my head out the window because there's air coming through there, but my camera might go out into the wind. I try not to, and when you have a longer lens, you got to lean back to stay in. I'm fortunate my plane's big enough I can usually keep it in the plane, but I'm not winging it per se. We're following, so wherever the jet is or whatever I'm shooting, You know, it's moving. He's moving 200 miles an hour one way. I'm moving 100 miles an hour the other way. And we've got to, at a certain time, they call it TOT, time on target. We've got to get there to get the picture. And there's a lot of luck involved, but I have to go through my ritual of how I do it. There's always a pilot. I can't shoot this, and you can't do it by yourself. You're not quick enough. And I know somebody even said a helicopter would be easier. I don't think so. The plane's moving, and he's not always right where he needs to be. So if you're in a stationary object, you can't move quick enough to be in a moving object. It's a lot quicker. I'm already got the momentum. I'm already moving. So if I see he's not where he needs to be, I'll change my path. You know, split-second stuff, and it works or it doesn't work. There's no guarantees on this at all.
And you're still in communication with tower, the controls.
I'm on since it was above the TFR. It was in Burbank Charlie at the altitude. I was just at the top of it, and I was talking to the Pasadena police on their discrete frequency.
And I also found, when I did a little bit of research, that live ATC has the radio communication of the flight. And I'll find that link and make sure we add that later on to this as well. Another factor in that story, or the article, is your son. And the way it was written, most of us looked at it, and you can see Scott laughed, because I kind of did too. We're all thinking, he's got a 5 or 10-year-old kid sitting in the back seat with him taking pictures. Well, I found out your son's actually an accomplished photographer as well.
He works with me in the business. It's a partnership, the two of us. He's 32. He's a good photographer. He doesn't want to.
I was about to say, he's only 5.
He doesn't want to be a pilot. He likes taking pictures, and he does all the other work we do.
So it wasn't back there with a sippy cup, is what you're saying?
No. You know, it's almost a tradition. It's our tradition, right. Really. Can I do it without him? Yes. He's in the back, and he helps me.
Right.
When the F-18s or F-35s, they're much harder to see than the B-2.
Yes.
And so he's there because he's got better eyes than me. There's no question about it. So but we're also looking for. I go up there. We're looking for the band, taking pictures of the band, making out their. They're marching and they're drawing out the logos and all that, and he can pick that up better than me because I'm still looking around and he's saying no, this is what they're spelling, because I look at it, I don't even understand what they're spelling. So that's what we really go up for. We do that, and the flyover is just the second part of it. If we can catch it and see, and then the pilots lately have been calling me a couple days before, and I said, thanks for the additional pressure now to shoot it for you. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
And another factor that in the article and stuff you might see, a lot of people think you Photoshop the B-2 in there.
I can understand that, but no, I don't even use Photoshop. I use Lightroom, but no, we don't Photoshop. And we showed the series of pictures because once I saw the stadium, how beautiful it looked with the flag, and I got the B-2 coming into the stadium. We were turning to keep him in the stadium, and I just let the camera rip. I just let it go. And I wanted, the reason I let it go was because the picture I wanted was not him blocking Oklahoma or Georgia or the flag. I wanted him in between, and the only way you're going to do that is get lucky. And out of the 10 or 13 shots I did, we have 2 that are not blocking anything, and then a couple, one blocking a part of the flag, and then some are out of the stadium, higher up in the stadium, which didn't give the same effect I was looking for. It was definitely it wasn't a fly-by-night thing. I wasn't the Maverick sticking my head out the window. I might have sticking my head out the window, but that's not what I was doing. It was very planned and very methodically thought, and then it's just improv. Like I said, I grew up as a jazz musician. Everything is improv for me. It's the way I work. I was just saying with the still life, he'll sit there and set up a still life. If I want to take a picture of an apple, I'd feel better throwing it up in the air and taking a picture of it. That's
Whereas I will sit there and light it and position it and then take a shot.
That's not my personality at all.
That's the classic opportunity and talent and skill coming together, and that's what you did.
That's my thinking. So it's the challenge of it too. And is it going to work? We never know if it's going to work. The camera could jam, and I was having problems with that camera the week before, and I went to my 5D Mark II and I started playing around with it, and I threw it in the back. I said, it's not going to work. The 5D Mark III, at least it's a much better camera than the other one, and there's newer ones from that, but I needed, if it wasn't going to work, I was going to not work at the camera I wanted to shoot.
He's a Canon shooter, I'm a Nikon shooter, but we won't hold that against him. Hey guys, I'm getting that little magic signal here. So, Mark, thanks for spending some time with me and with
Thank
us
you.
and sharing your
Thank
story.
you for helping
I'm
clear this up.
hoping that I can talk you into joining us in Tucson for our symposium. Again, I'm Larry Grace, the President and Chairman for the International Society of Aviation Photography, and thanks for joining us right now.
Thank you.